I have hated the words and I have loved them, but I hope I have made them right. The Book Thief is a historical fiction novel written by Markus Zusak. It takes place in 1939 Nazi Germany and follows the story of a small illiterate girl named Liesel. Liesel's story is narrated by none other than Death himself, who in this sense is a kind and omniscient figure. Death describes himself as seeing Liesel 3 times in his career, once when the sky is white, once when it is black, and once when it is red. Now, Liesel's story begins on her train to Munich, where her new foster family awaits her. On the train there, her brother Werner dies, and they are forced to bury him later. Now, Liesel, during this burial, steals a book that she sees laying by a grave, and it is called a Gravedigger's Handbook. This is her first book in a series of books she will be stealing. Now, once she meets the Hubermans later, after arriving in Munich, she opens up to them and becomes very friendly towards them, very attached. And then Liesel goes into town, meets up with a new kid in town. His name is Rudy. Rudy's a very energetic person and is a big fanatic of the track star Jesse Owens, the Black American. Liesel then, after a bedwetting incident, is confronted by Hans, and Hans teaches her to read. Liesel, of course, accepts this. Later on Hitler's birthday, in fact, there's a book burning of non-Aryan books. Now, during this book burning, there's a bunch of mayhem, and Liesel spots a book sitting unscathed by the fire. She takes it, and realizes that she is spotted by a fluffy-haired figure off in the crowd. Liesel then asks Hans who this person was, and Hans reveals that this person was the mayor's wife. Now, Liesel then confronts the mayor's wife later on in the story, and discovers that Frau Herrmann, who is the mayor's wife, is actually a very kind and gentle person, and offers Liesel to let her read in the library. Liesel obviously accepts this. Liesel then encounters trouble whenever Max, who is a Jewish prisoner, comes to take refuge with the Hubermans. The Hubermans, of course, accept him, but then have to later take him out after a series of unfortunate events. Liesel is very hurt by this because she had befriended Max. Now, these unfortunate events included Jewish walkthroughs of the town, there were Nazi prisoners coming into the houses, and many things that showed the signs of war to come. Now, after this, the war becomes even more real whenever Hans and Alex, who is Rudy's father, are sent off to fight in the war. Liesel and Rudy are very hurt by this, and of course, they end up stealing a suit from Rudy's father's shop to try to steal a part way of their fathers that they have lost. After life seems to be returning normal, there's another bombing, and after the townspeople emerge from the bomb shelter, they discover an enemy pilot has crashed nearby in the woods. Instead of viewing this person as an enemy, however, the townspeople treat him with kindness as he is already dying. Rudy, in fact, hands him his teddy bear, and the pilot dies smiling, holding the teddy bear. This actually happens to be the second time that Death has seen Liesel whenever the sky was black. Now, if you want to see the third time, I suggest you read yourself, because if I say anything else, then the ending will be revealed. I really liked how this book really tasseled with the theme of duality. There was Hans' sensitivity to all people, and then there was the Nazis' hardships. There was the town's peacefulness, and then there was the country at war. There were many different things clashing all at once, and the fact that Death was very confused by humans was a very big theme throughout the book. And usually humans are confused by Death, so that was very rude. I really enjoyed the book. Really think anyone with an interest in history or just interesting fiction in general should read this, and I give it a good 9.5 out of 10.